Sicil stirred, her body still entwined with Sebastian's, her head resting on his chest. Even when the morning light bathed them in its gentle embrace, neither seemed able to keep their hands or their smiles to themselves. Sebastian reached out, tucking a stray lock of her hair behind her ear as he gazed at her, his eyes filled with adoration. "You're beautiful," he murmured, his voice thick with sleep and love. Sicil blushed under his gaze, her lips curving into a shy smile. "And your trouble," she teased, though her tone betrayed the warmth blooming in her chest. Before she could say more, her stomach growled audibly, breaking the romantic stillness of the moment. Sicil covered her face with her hands, laughing in embarrassment. "Well, that's one way to ruin the mood," she said, her voice muffled. Sebastian chuckled, his laughter low and warm. "I think it's a perfect excuse to spoil you," he replied. Without waiting for a response, he sat up, effortlessly scooping her into his arms despite her playful protests. "Seb, I can walk!" she exclaimed, her cheeks flushed with both joy and surprise. "I know," he said, a mischievous grin playing on his lips. "But where's the fun in that?" He carried her to the kitchen, the space alive with the cozy charm of a farmhouse. The sunlight painted the room in warm hues, bouncing off the rustic wooden cabinets and vintage tile work. Sicil let herself relax in his arms, her heart fluttering as she admired his strength and ease. Setting her gently on the kitchen counter, Sebastian pressed a quick kiss to her forehead before moving to the stove. "Stay right there," he said with a playful wink. "I'll handle everything." Sicil watched as he moved around the kitchen with a natural grace, opening cupboards, measuring coffee grounds, and filling the kettle with water. The rich, earthy aroma of brewing coffee began to fill the air, mingling with the light scent of morning dew wafting in through the open window. Leaning against the counter, Sicil found herself mesmerized by Sebastian. He wore nothing but a pair of loose-fitting pajama bottoms, the morning sunlight accentuating the planes of his toned back and shoulders as he worked. There was something captivating about seeing him in this domestic setting, so confident and at ease. It was a side of him she hadn't seen before, and it made her heart swell. Her gaze lingered as he poured the coffee into 2 mugs, his movements unhurried, yet deliberate. He turned back to her, catching her staring, and a crooked smile spread across his face. "Enjoying the view?" he teased, handing her a mug. Sicil took the coffee, her fingers brushing his in the exchange. "Very much," she admitted, her voice soft but sincere. "I didn't know you were so good in the kitchen." "There's a lot you don't know about me yet," Sebastian replied, leaning in to kiss her gently. His lips lingered on hers for a moment before he pulled away, his eyes sparkling with affection. "But I've got all the time in the world to show you." As they sipped their coffee, the world outside seemed to fade, leaving only the 2 of them in their cozy haven. Sicil swung her legs lightly from the counter, feeling a rare sense of peace and contentment. "You're full of surprises, Seb," she said, resting her mug beside her and pulling him closer by the waistband of his pajamas. "And I plan to keep surprising you," he replied, setting his mug down and wrapping his arms around her waist. "Starting with breakfast. But first..." He lifted her chin gently, his eyes locking onto hers. "Let me just keep admiring you a little longer." Their foreheads rested together for a moment, their breaths mingling as they basked in the love that seemed to fill every corner of the farmhouse. Sicil's phone rang on the nearby table. Sebastian retrieved it for her, noting the caller ID. "It's Tia," he mentioned, handing the phone to Sicil with a supportive smile. Sicil hesitated for a moment before answering, surprised by the early call on a Saturday morning. "Hey, what's up, Tia?" Sicil greeted, her voice mixed with curiosity. Tia's urgent tone on the other end immediately caught Sicil's attention. "Sicil, something has happened. Ethan showed up at our doorstep last night in a terrible state. He is here, sleeping in the guest room." Sicil's heart sank at the news of Ethan's distress. "Oh no, is he okay?" she asked, concern lacing her words. "He's in a state of mess, Sicil," Tia replied with worry evident in her voice. "He kept muttering about third wheel. Do you have any idea what is going on?" Sicil's mind raced with worry as she considered Ethan's situation. "I'm not sure," she admitted, her voice faltering slightly. But I will come over right away. Thank you for letting me know, Tia." Sebastian had been listening intently. He nodded in agreement. "Let's go," he said, his tone firm yet supportive as he reached for his keys. "Thank you," she whispered, touched by his loyalty. "We'll get through this," Sebastian assured her, his hand gently squeezing hers as they left. They drove in silence towards Tia's house. Sicil could not help but feel grateful for Sebastian's presence by her side. Despite the sudden change in plans, she knew that they would face whatever awaited them together. They had an unforgettable evening together, basking in the warmth of their love and affection. Throughout the time, they were inseparable, their hands entwined as they explored every corner of their private sanctuary. Whether they were by the sea, sinking into the soft sand, or submerged in the cool waters of the sea, their connection remained unbreakable. Their passion ignited in the intimacy of their moments, and they revealed the joy of being together. But now, as they embarked on this unexpected journey to comfort Ethan, their bubble of happiness threatened to burst. Yet, despite the sudden interruption, Sebastian never hesitated to prioritize Sicil's well-being above his own. With devotion, he took the wheel, determined to ensure Ethan's welfare for Sicil's sake, even if it meant putting their own plans on hold. Sicil found comfort in Sebastian's support and understanding. She knew that with him by her side, they could weather any storm, even the turmoil of confronting her past with Ethan. Sebastian understood that Sicil and he could only find true happiness once they had closure with Ethan. Sicil needed Ethan's forgiveness to move forward, and Sebastian was willing to facilitate that process for her sake. He recognized the importance of resolving the past to pave the way for their future together, and he was committed to supporting Sicil every step of the way. As soon as Sebastian pulled the car in front of Tia's house, Sicil rushed inside, her heart racing with worry, and Sebastian followed closely behind. When Tia opened the door, relief washed over her at the sight of Sicil's prompt arrival, but confusion clouded her expression upon seeing Sebastian with her. A flicker of unpleasant suspicion crossed her mind. Could he be the reason for Ethan's heartbreak? Suppressing her doubts, Tia hugged Sicil tightly and asked, "What's wrong between you and Ethan?" Sicil took a deep breath, her mind already preparing for the difficult conversation ahead. "I'll tell you everything after I talk to Ethan," she replied. Tia nodded, her worry growing as she shared the details of Ethan's current state. "He's still sleeping, and he is in a very poor state. It looks like he drank the whole night along with a girl who eventually dropped him off," she explained, her voice heavy with concern. Sicil's suspicion heightened at the mention of another girl being with Ethan all night. Questions swirled in her mind as she wondered about the identity of this mystery woman and the nature of her relationship with Ethan. Determined to find out more, Sicil made her way to the room where Ethan was sleeping, her heart heavy with apprehension. Meanwhile, Sebastian opted to give them some space and settled into the living room, silently offering his support from a distance.